Thank you. صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا ابن رسول الله وابن أمير المؤمنين وابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي وسيدة نساء العالمين غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء أفي شهر الصيام فجعتمونا بخير الناس طرا أجمعين رزقنا خير من ركب المطايا وفارسها ومن ركب السفينة ألا أخبر معاوية بن حرب فلا قرت عيون الشامتين علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام within this night is welcoming death and welcoming the angels preceding death. Along him to the right is Hassan. To his left is Hussein. And above his head is Zainab. Looking at that wound, curing that wound, saying, "Oh Ali, we want to witness Eid with you. ولكن الأمر لله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم صلوا على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل." We are very fortunate, brothers and sisters. Very fortunate to a level that we will never comprehend. Not in this world, not in the thereafter. Many people have come to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there's a reason. They came and told him that we love Ali ibn Abi Talib. And that's a weird thing to say, isn't it? I love Ali ibn Abi Talib. This has to be a repercussion of people saying to the Prophet in his face that we hate Ali ibn Abi Talib. So this very gracious Prophet, the mercy upon the world, someone would go and tell him that, I hate your brother-in-law, I hate your brother Ali, I just can't stand him. I don't like him. If you want me to do any service of Islam, just make sure that he is not there. So people would naturally come and say, "Oh Prophet, please don't pay attention to what they're saying. We actually respect you and appreciate Ali ibn Abi Talib." The answer is even more mind-boggling than the question itself. The answer is, in many narrations, إِذَنْ أَبْشِرْ بِالْبَلَاءِ. then I am foretelling you that you will be going into many perils in your life, many problems because of this love. In other narrations, he says, فَابْشِرُوا بِطِيبِ الْوِلَادَةِ. Thank your Lord that your mother has brought you from a clean womb. All in all, these narrations just come to show that Ali ibn Abi Talib, the undisputable hero of Islam, is disputed in some people's eyes. I mean, it is the Umayyad habit to actually perform la'nat above Amir al-Mu'minin salamullahi alayh on the mimbar, the pulpit in Jum'ah. They continued to do so until Abdullah ibn Mas'ud came and said, we will do this no longer. But even the close persons, the close people to Amir al-Mu'minin, Muawiyah would tell them, go ascend upon the pulpit and say, perform la'na on Amir al-Mu'minin. So they say, a'fini, like, don't give me this task. But then he will insist. So they would rise on the pulpit and do as Amir al-Mu'minin has told them. أَمَّا السَّبُّ فَسُبُّونِي وَأَمَّا الْبَرَاءَ فَلَا تَتَبَرَّؤُ مِنِّي. If you need to curse me, do that, but don't ever pledge allegiance to anyone else. So anyhow, today or tonight is a very important night in two lights. First, within the light of Fatimah salamullahi alayha, and secondly, within the light of Amir al-Mu'minin. So let's talk about Amir al-Mu'minin first. So the first thing is, if someone is struck with such a vicious strike, you would say that the Muslims would say, okay, don't take any responsibilities, any roles, just rest in your house, we'll try to tend and mend to you, and that's all. Amir al-Mu'minin did the exact opposite. His house became a hotspot for people to come and visit, and the mosque was actually empty. Now, again, just to reiterate, we're not talking about Medina, in which his house is actually in the mosque. We're talking about Kufa. So Kufa, there are three important places there. There is Masjid al-Kufa, the big mosque, that was reduced in size several times, last by Al-Hajjaj, Thaqafi. So it was actually huge, humongous. It was like the biggest place on earth. But it got reduced again and again and again. So if you go in the direction of the Qibla, approximately like half a kilometer or so, you'd find Qasr al-Imara, the place of governmentship, from which they threw Muslim ibn Aqil and Hani ibn Urwa. So that's very close also. Just 80 meters north of that is the house of Amir al-Mu'minin. The house you see today is not actually the house of Amir al-Mu'minin. It was built upon the ruins of the house of Amir al-Mu'minin, but the place is very well documented. So that place, that very small place, in which he had all his sons, all his daughters, people came flooding in. So let's talk about the people that last visited Amir al-Mu'minin salamullahi alayh before we talk about Fatima alayhi salam, as promised within this series, inshallah. So there was a group, probably 20 or more, of Jewish ministers, in the sense that they are, religious characters. So they came and knocked the door. So Imam al-Hassan went outside, and then they said, we want to declare our Islam. Weird timing, but Amir al-Mu'minin did not say, just take them somewhere else, Hassan, go and tend to them. He said, no, enter them upon me. And so they did. And they all declared their Islam. So naturally, Amir al-Mu'minin, even though he knows, but he has to ask also so that we would know, why did you declare your Islam just now? Manner we did not witness before, our fathers witnessed before, in the death of Musa alayhi salam. Only now we are seeing what we have heard in the books. We are seeing the stars scattering. We are seeing the redness, excessive redness that goes far deep into the darkness of the night. So we knew that you are the apostle of the last prophet of time, and we do istighfar. We did not know that you were here, but now that we do, we declare our Islam. Another person to come, Abdullah ibn Abbas, a very renowned narrator, especially in the Sunni, let's say, he needed from Amir al-Mu'minin. Because Amir al-Mu'minin, even though on his deathbed, he said his famous word, Saluni qabla an tafqiduni. Ask me before you lose me. And that has a story I will be mentioning later on. But now, so when Abdullah ibn Abbas entered, he said, and he's a man of war. I mean, he's used to wars. He's been with the Prophet. He's been with Imam Ali. He's been with, all of these great characters. So he's used to blood. But he said, when I entered and saw him for the first time, my heart shuddered and my tongue got tied. I could not ask anymore. I've heard that people are going to visit Ali and see him, but I did not know how that was. But now I did. So then Amir al-Mu'mineen opened his eyes faintly and told him, Ibn Abbas, ask. This is my role in the world. So again, he was hesitant. So Amir al-Mu'mineen started by miracle replying to the questions that he had without him asking them, one by one. Imam Hassan says that they reached 70 questions and answers. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen said finally, انصرف يا ابن عباس فلا طاقة لي بالكلام. I have no power left in me. So please let's put it to rest today and hopefully inshallah tomorrow. Another person that also entered upon Al-Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is Al-Asbagh ibn Nabata, a very good companion of Amir al-Mu'mineen. So Al-Asbagh, Imam Hassan actually ordered him and the groups of people, the crowds outside, to leave because they knew that Amir al-Mu'mineen could not, attend to this number, this amount. So Imam Hassan told them, go leave. Imamukum mashghulun binafsa. The Imam is busy with himself. So they all left. And when the cries from inside the household of Ali ibn Abi Talib risen, he also cried. So Imam al-Hassan knew that he was still outside. So he went to him again and told him, oh, Asbagh ibn Nabata, I already told you to leave. Why aren't you leaving? So he said, Inna rajlaya la tahmilhanini. My legs can't carry me. And I cannot fathom the idea of leaving Amir al-Mu'mineen in the state. So I just want to see him one final time. So he went in. And when he went in, he told him something that Asbagh ibn Nabata says, I felt the happiness of his words until like 20 years after that even, and more. So what Amir al-Mu'mineen said, he told him, Asbagh ibn Nabata, you are a very dear friend of us, Ahl al-Bayt. So, wallahi, it is the Jannah. I'm going to Jannah, don't worry. So then Al-Asbagh still, he had this very, very, let's say, thing, very heavy thing pressing on his heart. So he said, O Asbagh, not only will we do intercedence on your behalf, but we will take you and those that love you and your friends and their friends with us. So he said, where? So he said, obviously to Jannah. And that and only that made Asbagh ibn Nabata leave. And he said, Salam alaikum, and he left. So Amir al-Mu'mineen also had his military under his hand even on those days. And I just like this one. There was an army near Nukhayla, which is just north. Nukhayla witnessed many things, and it was one of the places in which Hussein stopped before going to Karbala. So, because obviously it's a place that is very close to it. So then these people, the army, were actually waiting for Ali ibn Abi Talib's order to go and attack or defend from the Levant side, because Muawiyah had a battalion coming, so they prepared war over there. So when Ali ibn Abi Talib was hit, he told them, I want everyone in Nukhayla to come back here under my supervision. So they said, why? So Ali ibn Abi Talib said, because I know that they would be emotional because I was struck, and I fear that they will do something that I did not command them to do. They might attack people, they might do something. I want to be a just ruler until I die, so let them come. And they returned, even though there was slight danger that they would be outflanked. But Ali ibn Abi Talib could not have injustice fall upon anyone. Also, one of the things that happened, Amir al-Mu'mineen himself wasn't taken for 2 hours when he was struck. Then he was taken home. Many people don't actually know the reason. So there are two reasons. The first reason is because he's trying to get in a shape that is, as good as possible before meeting his daughters and trying to stop this blood that is gushing. Another reason is that still the time of governmentship did not finish. Usually he waits until the sun rises, then he leaves. This is why when he was carried home, he pointed to the sun and told the sun, "O sun, you know that I have never left the mosque before you shone. My promise is delivered. I still am doing that." That was the final time he went to the mosque, because afterwards, one of his, not cousins, but rather nephews, He's called Ja'da. Ja'da, he's the son of his sister Fakhita, alayhi salam. So Zainab actually told Ali ibn Abi Talib, why don't we let Ja'da do the prayer? So he said, okay. So he performed the prayers for 3 days and 3 nights. He's a good person, an excellent person. I have actually a lecture series, like 3 night series that are regarding Fakhita alayhi salam in the YouTube channel. It's live fed to America, but it is present now. So today, tomorrow, and yesterday, there are lectures regarding him. So Ja'da took care of that. Amir Mu'mineen made sure that there is jama'ah. Jama'ah should never stop for any reason. Also, one of the things to happen in the time of Amir Mu'mineen while he was fighting and struggling with the ailment is that he was actually gathering all the Hashemites within his house. Everyone that is even remotely related. So, all of these stories of Amir al-Mu'mineen giving his will to his children, it didn't happen in seclusion. Like always, the affairs of Ahlul Bayt, they happen publicly. So part of that is for them to know what will happen later on Ahlul Bayt, because he's giving each person his own will. So that is also another part. He has the family role of gathering all the people. And actually, one of the wills to Imam Hassan was, "Oh Hassan, after I die and pass, take all of your brothers and sisters and return to Medina, because there will be a test waiting for you there, especially, and so that they are going to get ready for Karbala." Even though it's not, there are several years separating the two. However, things need to be set in place. There is no time for weakness. And Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi alayh is never a weak man. Yarhamukumullah, bless you, inshallah. So at that night, at the night of the 20th, many narrations speak about the people that have entered upon Amir al-Mu'mineen, including the doctors. So one of the doctors, he entered, and each time a doctor would come, several came, not only one. Each time a person would come, everyone will hold on to him and tell him, take care of him. He's Amir al-Mu'mineen. Maybe you don't know it, but we know it. And we're going to give you whatever money you want if he is cured. And even if he's not cured, on his way out, everyone will take whatever he has in his pocket and shove it inside his, just to honor Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi alayh. So this doctor asked Imam al-Hassan to bring one branch of the lung of a goat. So he did. And then this doctor took it and he tied it from one end and started blowing on it from the other end so it would actually expand. And then after that, he said, "Oh, Hassan, can you please open this umama, which is at the same time a bandana to tie off the blood? Can you open it?" So Imam Hassan naturally say, "But you are the doctor, you should take care of everything. This is your specialty." And this is actually a point Amir Mu'mineen was trying to establish. He knows that there is no cure. He knows that he is already gone. But he is putting people in their rightful places. If there is someone that is a professional, then no one should take his role. Even though you are an imam, this is the order of things. There always has to be a professional doing his work. So Al-Hassan, salamullahi alayhi, told him, "You are the professional, you do that." So he said, "No." He said, "I've treated wounds since I was 9 years old. I've seen every single thing that could be seen on the face of the earth under the sun. However, this is Ali ibn Abi Talib. I don't want to hurt him even with a little pinch. You are his son, you are forgiven automatically. But I cannot fathom to be a person that adds to the pain of Amir al-Mu'mineen." So Al-Hassan did. He opened them one by one, and each time, with each revolution of this umama, it will get redder and redder. It was actually yellow. And within the narration of Al-Asbagh ibn Nabati, he said, this turban was yellow, and Amir Mu'mineen does not wear yellow turbans. But it is just to disguise the color of blood a little bit, as much as possible. So with every turn, it would go red, 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 until it went dark black. And then he couldn't even distinguish between the actual flesh and the umama. It was so soaked. Slowly but surely, it was all opened. And then he entered this vein or branch of this goat inside. And when he took it outside, it had white remnants. So then he looked into Al-Hassan and Al-Hussein, Once to the right, once to the left, the audience behind him, the ladies in the other room. He started to stutter. He started to try to speak, but he cannot speak. So he was saying, this that you see on this branch is the brain of Amir al-Mu'mineen, which means that he has been poisoned. And even if this wound closes off, there is no chance that he is ever going to be back. So he said, Ya Ali, i'had ahdak, wasallim wasiyatak, فإنك مفارقهم الساعة. O Ali, give your will and give your decisions to your children, for you are leaving the hour. And when he just said that, the place erupted, crying. Everyone was very fearful for Amir al-Mu'mineen's life. And indeed, he was the one reassuring them. Have you seen the sick reassuring the healthy, telling them, don't worry, I know where I'm going. I'm worried about you guys. I'm leaving you behind. So they lovingly embraced Amir al-Mu'mineen. And then they tried as much as possible for this night to just tend to him. In another note, this illness that they are now diligently moving in and out of just to, you know, just to go with Amir al-Mu'mineen and make him feel comfortable. We remember this from the time of Zahra salamullahi alayha, but now it's the other way around. When Zahra was sick with her pain and sick with her broken rib, the medic was only Amir al-Mu'mineen salamullahi alayha. And Asma, again Asma, this name is recurrent. And Amir al-Mu'mineen actually did not notice many things, even though he knew they were existent. But Fatimah al-Zahra made sure. So when Ali ibn Abi Talib would come inside, she would not sit up, she would lie down. You'd say this is the opposite of respect. However, what she is doing is that if she is sitting upright, every breath that she takes hurts her more. So that she does not moan out of pain, she lies down and tells Fidda, cover me up so that he doesn't see. The narration, the only narration that made me cry uncontrollably reading it, even though I was ready, I was reading about Ahl al-Bayt, is when Ali ibn Abi Talib was actually washing Fatimah al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha, and his hand just dipped inside. And so he uncovered this part of the shroud and he saw that 2 ribs were broken. He did what anyone here would do. He walked out of the place. He couldn't look at her anymore. He embraced his 2 knees and started crying like a child, Salman says. So now the caretaker is being taken care of. And Fatima alayha salam, Ali ibn Abi Talib used to stay at home as much as possible. He was so sick of seeing the companions that came and attacked him, and attacked her indeed. So the narrations also say that Amir al-Mu'mineen not only spent all of his night over there in her life, but also after her death. But now, the problem that Zainab is facing is that whenever Amir al-Mu'mineen misses Fatima, he cannot visit the grave because it's so far away. The only closest thing that he could get to Fatima is Zainab alayha salam. And she couldn't go and embrace him. She felt like every embrace causes him more pain. But he is always saying, Ilayya, Ilayya yabnati, come my daughter, come, very lovingly. Let me smell the remnants of Fatima. The Prophet himself indeed used to say, إذا اشتقت إلى ريح الجنة شممت ابنتي فاطمة. If I miss the scent of the heavens because I was there, I would go and embrace my daughter Fatima. All of this love that is growing within the family, all of this care showed especially in the time of both Fatima and Amir al-Mu'mineen. And there is one unit that gathers both calamities. So when Fatima alayha salam was in her home, when she was being taken care of by Amir al-Mu'min salam alayhi, she continued her role. One important role for Fatima is media. Again, I always say she's the remnants of the Prophet and everybody knows that. You know, Fatima People have even never seen her. You've all heard that many Sahaba came to ask for Fatima's hand for marriage. Not even the sun, not even the moon saw the face of Fatima alayhi salam. The inanimate bodies didn't. She was all of the time decent, even at home. And she was always covered because she knew that this is the way of Islam. So she naturally would be inclined to be just kept in secret always. You know that one of the orders of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is for Fatima alayhi salam to leave this shroud twice. Once we've talked about already, which is going to the mosque. I don't want to go deep into it because we have more masa'ib later on. But the other part of it was, "O Fatima, let them hear you. You need to be heard." The people said at the time of the attack of Fatima and after it, we could not even go and pray in the mosque. We could say Takbirat al-Ihram, then we would never know what we said next because of this woman wailing and crying night and day. Mind you, again, each breath is painful, but she screams on top of her lungs to show what has happened upon them. She's also teaching Zainab, "Oh Zainab, I've taught you to be secret and private." Even the neighbors of Ali ibn Abi Talib, they didn't know that he had a daughter. But she also taught her, "Come with me to the house of sorrows." They would go from the house of the Prophet to Baqi'. And it's a short journey, less than a kilometer. But for Fatima, it is just like going around the world 7 times. You could feel how she is, heart-wrenched that she is going outside and people are seeing her shadows, not herself, but her shadows, just to go and deliver the news that something great has happened in the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Zainab was being taught over there, was being taught. So even though at the end of her time, all she did was cry, and it was worship. It was worship. At the end, we all know, alhamdulillah, that Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam are the gateway towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Amir al-Mu'mineen, Fatima, both doing what they are doing while they are terminal, while they are leaving this world. And this is a message to all of us that however old or young we are, we have a role and we must fulfill it as much as humanly possible. But what I cannot fathom is the state of Zainab alayha salam. Let's not forget that Zainab, in the night of the death of the Prophet, she was there. In the night of the death of Fatimah, she was there. In the night of the death of Al-Hassan, she was there. And so in Al-Hussein, and so in the death of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. The narrations say that Ali opened his eyes and looked, and Zainab was cleaning the wound. So Ali told her, "Stop. I have something far more important to say. Gather your brothers and your sisters next to me and call upon all of the people that are surrounding the house. Tell Al-Hassan to tell them to leave." And so she did. And when they came in, Ali ibn Abi Talib asked for his wudu for a final time and told them, "Bring me the water so that I will pray to Allah." And he did 2 rak'ah and came back again to the bed and told them, "Put me upright," even though it was difficult. And right then, Amir al-Mu'mineen opened his eyes again and told them, "Oh Hassan, you're going to be poisoned after me. And then they will shoot your janazah. They will shoot your tomb with 70 arrows. So Al-Hasan said lovingly, I will if this is for Islam. So Ali said, yes indeed. And then he turned to Zainab and Al-Hussein and Al-Abbas and told them, كأني بابني هذا على بوغاء كربلاء. As if I see my son on the dunes of Karbala. ولا محام ولا من نصير, with no protector nor aider. But then Al-Abbas said, where will I be? So he said, oh son, you will go before him, and your hands will fall into the dunes also. So then Zainab said, oh father, for whom do you leave me then? So Amir al-Mu'mineen looked at her and looked at Aba al-Fadl al-Abbas and took the right hand of Al-Abbas and the left hand of Zainab and put them both upon his chest, crying upon these tears, telling him, O Abbas, inna hadhihi wadi'ati ilayk. O Abbas, this is my amanat that I'm giving to you. So then Abu al-Fadl say, I promise you, O father, to take care of her. But if my hands stay upon my body. So then Zainab stopped crying and felt comforted. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen's hand trembled, and he left both hands and they laid him down. He slept for an hour or so. So then they asked him, O father, we thought that you died. So he said, no, my children, I saw the Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, and he was looking at me with a battalion of angels, and he's saying, Asra' ilayna ya ibn Abi Talib, ya habibi wa ya akhi. Faster, faster, come to us, your time has come. And so Zainab threw herself upon Ali and they embraced. And he told her, don't worry, my daughter, for it is the heavens. But now I ask, how was Zainab carrying Al-Hussein on Karbala? Ali had one wound, Ali had one blood, but Al-Hussein per generation was pieces by pieces. Whenever she would lift one piece, another would fall. And they said to her, كيف رأيت صنع الله بأخيك? How did you see Allah treating your brother? So she said, والله ما رأيت إلا جميلا. Oh, by Allah, I saw nothing but beauty. So then Ali ibn Abi Talib told them, I want to pray again. But he fell into sleep another time. And as if Zainab is not knowing, is he dead or awake? So she is calling him. Otho Baba me Zainab hun, ye bibi ki sadaage. Otho Baba me Zainab hun, ye bibi ki sadaage. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen opened his eyes for a third time. And then he told her, O Zainab, I gave you my will to take care of the children. Do you have a will? So she said, Sallim ala ummi mukassarat al-adla'. Say salam to my mother if you see her, because I know I will delay and I will not come very soon. And within all of this time, the crowd outside was crying and were saying, Wa Aliyah, Wa Imama. And the news reached to Muawiyah. So he said, Alhamdulillah, الذي فل جمعهم وفرقهم. Alhamd be to Allah, thanks to Allah, for He has dispersed them. And for the remaining days, Amir al-Mu'mineen was keen to finish up writing the Quran. So it will be given to صاحب العصر والزمان عجل الله فرجه وجعلنا من أنصاره. O Allah, by the virtue of Ali, by the virtue of Fatimah, by the virtue of Hassan and Al-Hussein, by the virtue of Bibi Zainab, salli ala Muhammadin wa alih. O Allah, you know that we all have needs, so please, by the right of Ahlul Bayt, give them to us. O Allah, you know that we have sinned, for please forgive us. O Allah, you know that we depend on you and on Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So do not fail us, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. O Allah, cure all the sick by the power that you have given and the love to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alih. ورحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة قبلها صلوات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد. So, brothers and sisters, since tonight is not a night of Qadr, I urge you to send any question regarding the death or martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'min Salamullah alayhi right now. I'll be taking at least 3. I know this is not a time for questions and answers, but since we're talking about Amir al-Mu'mineen and the rest will be about Fatima alayhi salam, there are many things, many maybe misconceptions or many things that we must discuss. So before anything else, we'll take inshallah a couple of minutes for questions and answers. If you do not have the number, you could send it to whoever is here. Yes, please, brother. Alaikum salam. Mhm. Thank you very much, brother. So I'll repeat it for the guys watching on YouTube or Instagram. So the question was, what was the dynamics then after the martyrdom of Amir al-Mu'mineen between Muawiyah and between Imam al-Hassan? Because obviously there was something that is initiated. So when, where, how? So the role of Imam Hassan, and one of the reasons why Imam Hassan had to come with Amir al-Mu'mineen, even though he wasn't young, he was old. He had his family, his children, but the truce between Muawiyah and Imam Hassan was actually established in Kufa, in the mosque of Kufa. And there are many narrations that say that Muawiyah called Al-Hassan and Al-Hussein and another guy, let me remember his name, Sallu ala Muhammadin wa Muhammad. Qais ibn Sa'd ibn Abada, because they killed his father because he loves Amir al-Mu'mineen, so he wanted revenge. But Muawiyah called those 3 into the Levant, into Sham, into Damascus. And then they say that Al-Hassan pledged allegiance, and Al-Hussein pledged allegiance, and also Qais pledged allegiance. This is all lies. What actually happened is that Muawiyah came with his army into the mosque of Kufa in front of all of the Shia and all of those that love Amir al-Mu'mineen Salamullahi alayh. And the truce was actually established before that. So what Muawiyah did is that he sent a blank note to Imam Hassan and said that write your conditions here and then I will oblige. So whatever you write, I already accept. It's already signed. Just take it. It's like an open check. So that's what he did. So when Imam Hassan received this message, he had written at least 5 things, establishing a safe trade route, that everyone that loves Ahlul Bayt is safe, especially within the areas of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, many things. But the most important one is that after both Imam Hassan and after Muawiyah dies, then Imam Hassan takes reign. If he's not there, then Imam Hussein. And Muawiyah is not able to take anyone from his part to actually take rule. So when Muawiyah received that note, he put it under his foot and he said that I put his conditions under my foot. Innama, and he said this word, and it's very fascinating that people read it and don't know how bad of a guy he is. He said, والله ما تسلطت عليكم لتصلوا ولا تصوموا ولا تحجوا ولكن أريد أن أتأمر عليكم. I have not become a ruler so that you would fast and do hajj and do your prayers. I just want to have control over you all. So he did not, of course, he did not honor these conditions between him and Imam Hassan. But after the conditions were struck, he actually came. And when he ascended upon the pulpit to tell people and declare, because he was ruling at that time, that, I had a truce with Imam Hassan, he actually tried then and there to say that I will not give it to Imam Hussein, but people wanted to go and kill him. So he apologized and quickly ran off. However, it was established then that there was a truce. So just directly after that truce, Imam Hassan gathered his family and took them back to Medina. So people would say, for example, that did he pledge allegiance or not? Within the lecture that I told you about, the lectures, or was it in that lecture or not? I'm not really sure. Oh no, I actually uploaded just yesterday the birth of Imam Hassan Salamullah alayhi that I live streamed to America. It talks about the truce. It's under the title, The Truce of Imam Hassan. It goes into more detail, but he did not do a truce. There are narrations to say that he did, but he didn't. Thank you very much, dear brother. So we have exactly 2 questions here. A third one just now. I'll answer them as quick as possible. Of course, nobody's obliged to stay, if anyone's tired or so. We have also Aza afterwards, so let's not forget that we are going to console Zahra Salam alayha. So, how was Ibn Muljam and the whole assassination team getting punished for their sin for killing Amir al-Mu'mineen? You'd be surprised. Did you know where Ibn Muljam slept? You wouldn't believe it. No, he didn't, unfortunately. He slept in the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen took him in and spared the room for him. He wasn't even tied. He told Imam Hassan, لا تغلوا له يدا ولا رجلا. Don't tie his legs nor his feet. Let him roam free. وما أكلتم فأطعموهم أطعموهم ما تطعمون وشربوهم مما تشربون وألبسوهم مما تلبسون. Give him from what you drink, and then let him eat what you eat, and let him wear what you wear, because he was obviously wearing things that are heavy and like armor, etc. So they gave him lighter clothing. Not only that, in the same night in which this doctor came to Amir al-Mu'mineen, he told him, drink buttermilk. Buttermilk, they remove toxins, just like activated charcoal, but, less. So Amir al-Mu'mineen was brought the best buttermilk ever that was in Kufa. And it's still, until this day, known for that buttermilk. So he drank only half. They told him, drink it all, it's your remedy. He said, no, it's for Ibn Muljam. Give it to him. Let him, I need to be just. I need to show people that, if I die, ضربة بضربة. One hit by one hit. If he dies, he dies. If he doesn't, just leave him. But he indeed died. After Amir al-Mu'mineen, Qasas was taken from him. So the guys, the other 9, they were actually unapproachable. They left and they fled, including Qatam. So nothing happened to them. The only one that was actually punished was Abdur Rahman or Adu Rahman ibn Muljam. Excellent question. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam. My question is, how do we explain the phrase Ya Ali to non-Shia? Shouldn't we directly say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's a nice question. So this applies to everything. Why do I need to pray to talk to Allah? Why do I need to fast to prove that I love Allah? Why do I need Hajj to get closer to Allah? It's the way that Allah has ordered. And as I said before in several lectures before, that the sin of Iblis other than envying Adam, is that he suggested to Allah. He told him, "Oh Allah, you are ordering me to do sujood to Adam. I don't want to do sujood to Adam. I don't want to sujood. I want to do sujood directly to you. I don't want to do shirk per se. I just want to face you directly." That's his rhetoric. So he said, "I want to do sujood to you directly, and I will actually do sujood for 7,000 years instead of one moment for Adam." So Allah refused. Then he said that, "I want you to worship me like I want, not like you want." So now, Ya Ali, Ya Hassan, Ya Hussein, Ya Muhammad, all of these very glorious names, how do we justify them? It's the same thing. When Allah in the Quran says, "Ibtaghu ilayhi wasila," take the gateway to Allah. And the Prophet says that the way to Allah is two. It is the book of Allah and the progeny, my Ahl Bayt, and they will never separate until they come to me next to the well of the heavens. So they are the wasila to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in the Quran, for example, أَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Wherever you face, there is the direction of Allah. Because Allah is omnipresent. But still, it told the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, فَأَيْنَمَا كُنْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Wherever you are, face the Masjid al-Haram, the holy masjid, which is Mecca. So these contradict. Like, if you are everywhere, why do you want me to be limited? If you hear us directly, why do you want us to be limited and call upon Ya Ali, Ya Hussein, Ya Zahra? So another commentary here is that we don't need to justify truly anything. We just need to say, not in an apologetic form, no, in a very firm stance, that we don't worship them. They are the way to Allah, like prayer is the way to Allah, and they are indeed a bigger way to Allah than prayer itself. Again, the story of Adam and Iblis, that Iblis didn't want to go through the gateway, didn't want to through Adam. He wanted to pray directly to Allah. That was not allowed. Also, the Israelites, Allah ordered them to enter through the door, doing sujood. They didn't want to. They said, "We will do our worship on our terms." So essentially, what I'm trying to say is that Allah ordered us. This is our very clear answer. Allah orders us to call upon Ahlul Bayt and to seek assistance from Allah through them because they are closer to us. The Quran states it, "Ibtaghu ilayhi al-wasila," and unanimously, both Shiites and Sunnis, they do have narration saying that the wasila is Ahlul Bayt. So it's not only us, but we are following it, and this is the difference. So this could be a lengthier question, but answer. But I just to be fast, inshallah, I will just do this. Okay, so this question says, there is a video circulating where a Shia Maulana is saying that there's a special tasbih called Tasbih Imam Ali, has 1,000 maqamat in this world. The question is cut, I need to open it actually here. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Yeah, so it says 1,000 great maqamat in the world, and 1,000 great maqamat in the hereafter. So the method of recitation after every wajib salah, first recite tasbih Bibi Fatimah alayhi salam, and then tasbih as follows: Subhanallah 10, Alhamdulillah 10, Allahu Akbar 10, La ilaha illallah 10. Have you heard of this tasbih? Yes. This tasbih is actually not in Shia traditions. So in Shia traditions, never is there like this only 10, 10 and 10 and 10. I've personally read many narrations from Sunni traditions that say, like, do Allahu Akbar 10, do Tasbih 10, do Alhamdulillah 10. So most likely that this Maulana is not taking from our sources when it comes to this. However, this doesn't mean that you're not getting ajr. We have a certain rule called man balagh, whoever it reaches, which means and it's actually a narration by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If someone is told he will get certain ajr for doing certain something that is good, and this hadith is not authentic, he will get the prize anyways. So you could do that, of course, by all means. But I found this actually in Sunni traditions rather than Shiite traditions. Thank you for the question. There is this final one, and we will conclude with this. And whoever is left, then I will send to a message or her directly. What was the history of Ibn Muljam and his animosity towards Imam Ali, and what led him up to the attack on Holy Imam alayhi salam? Funny that you'd ask, because I actually was looking yesterday, because I said something yesterday on the pulpit and I wasn't fully convinced. The thought didn't cross my mind then, but it did while I was saying it, so it was too late. So the three people that went to assassinate Umar ibn Sa'd and Ali ibn Abi Talib and Muawiyah. Somehow this didn't sit right with me, because I know that the assassination needed far more arms and hands and thought than just 10 people, and then they want to attack Muawiyah and Umar ibn al-As and Imam Ali in the same night. They actually had this between them. So what I later found out is that they were actually pushed by Muawiyah. And the strike that fell on Muawiyah was padded. He had protection, from the hit, and they hit him very lightly. He was injured, but very slightly. And the order was to Umar ibn al-As to not go pray until the person in his place is assassinated, so that the general consensus won't go against Muawiyah as much as they do if they know that it is directly from him. So it was actually orchestrated by Muawiyah and the Umayyad dynasty. What I mentioned yesterday is just a narration that I have read, but as I said, on the pulpit, I felt like it wasn't right, so I went to think and ponder and research more. So actually, it was Muawiyah the one that pushed towards the murder of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and these 10 persons were promised very high ranks in Muawiyah's rule. However, they were not delivered anyways. They were not delivered. Just like Ubaydullah ibn Sa'd, and all of these guys that were promised great things, but then after they killed al-Hussein, they got nothing out of it. So, brothers and sisters, I think now we must go into the Aza. So, Sallu ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.
Oh, believers, come and mourn for our Mawla, he who was struck down in prayer in Kufa, he who was struck and swore to God, I have won. Through trials and pain, his faith never was undone. Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Haydar, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Ali, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Mawla. Everyone, Haydar, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Mawla, Haydar, Ya Mawla. Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, 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 Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, 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 Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, ya Haydar, ya Haydar, ya Haydar, 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 ya Haydar, ya Haydar, ya Haydar, 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 ya Haydar. Haydar, hey, one more time. Yo, Haydar, yo, Haydar, yo, Haydar, 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 Haydar. Yo, Haydar, yo, Haydar, yo, Haydar, 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 Haydar. Yo, Haydar, yo. Haydar. آی سر کوی بلند فریاد کردم، سر کوی بلند فریاد کردم، علی شیر خدا را یاد کردم، علی شیر خدا را یاد کردم، علی شیر خدا یا شاه مردان، دل ناشاد ما را شاد گردان، دل ناشاد ما را شاد گردان. یا حیدر، یا حیدر، یا حیدر، 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 حیدر. یا حیدر، یا حیدر، یا حیدر، 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 حیدر. یا حیدر، یا حیدر، یا حیدر، 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 یا حیدر، یا حیدر، یا حیدر، 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 یا حیدر. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar. Haydar. غبار خاک پای غم برم من، غبار خاک پای غم برم من، که عبد 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 حیدرم من، که عبد 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 حیدرم من. علی جان حب تو راه نجاتم، به نامت بگذرم من از صراطم، به نامت بگذرم من از صراطم. یا حیدر، یا حیدر، یا حیدر، 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 حیدر. یا حیدر، یا حیدر، یا حیدر، حیدر، حیدر. حیدر، حیدر. Everyone. Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, Ya Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Everyone, Haydar, Haydar, Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. To the masjid leaving Baba Haydar. To the masjid leaving Baba Haydar. To the masjid leaving Baba Haydar. Zainab is not resting Baba Haydar. I can see in your heart, I can see in your eyes, your heart bleeding. Tonight I see the skies, heaven, morning. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar. The world abandoned you, Baba Haydar. The world abandoned you, Baba Haydar. Your sorrows no one knew, Baba Haydar. In the night by the well, Baba Haydar. The wounds upon your heart, Baba Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, Haydar, Haydar. One more time, everyone. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar. By your bedside, I hear whispers. Oh, Baba, by your bedside, I hear whispers. Oh, Baba, your lips trembling from the poison. Oh, Baba, from your weakness, your eyes open. Oh, Baba, they find comfort as you utter Ya Zahra. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Haydar, 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 Haydar. Hussein weeps in the corner, Baba Haydar. Hussein weeps in the corner, Baba Haydar. Hassan mourns by you, Father Baba Haydar. We can hear our mother for you calling. Stood by the doors of heaven, she is waiting. Return to me. Now, what is Sayyidah Fatimah saying to Amir al-Mu'mineen? Just listen, few lines. Return to me, my beloved, oh Haydar. I've been patient, but I can't wait any longer. Alone in heaven, the angels witness your Zahra. How I called you when you called me, oh Haydar. Everyone call out, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra. Now what is Zahra saying? Bunayya, 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 Bunayya. It's the night of Friday. Every night, a lonely mother, goes to Karbala and is crying upon his Hussein, saying, "Oh son, what have they done with you? They've killed you. They did not give you water. They didn't quench your thirst. Ay bunayya, قتلوك ذبحوك ومن شرب الماء منعوك يا حسين 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 يا حسين.
अजबाबे नाल अला ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत 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 अजबाबे नाल अला ज़ैनब जियो सब आवाज़ देके अली दी हसरत अजबाबे नाल अला ज़ैनब मज़लूम 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 अली दी हसरत जिना ज़ीनत बढ़ना रस्सियां दी जिना ज़ीनत बढ़ना रस्सियां दी ओ घिसनिया तू चुमवा ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत अजबाबे नाल अला 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 ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत अजबाबे सब आवाज़ देके अला ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत अजबाबे नाल अला ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत अजबाबे नाल अला ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत सारी जिंदगी तू शर्मांदी रही गिन ओलामादा बांदी रही सारी जिंदगी तू शर्मांदी रही गिन ओलामादा बांदी रही हे वक्त अखीरी बाबेदा हे वक्त अखीरी बाबेदा तोड़े अज ताना शर्मा ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत अजबाबे नाल अला 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 ज़ैनब मज़लूम अली दी हसरत अजबाबे नाल मेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है आए बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा माशाअल्लाह की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। कैसे दरवाज़ा हटाऊं, कैसे मोहसिन को बचाऊं, सांस सीने में रुकी है। तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा माशाअल्लाह पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाथ में जिसके मेरा हाथ दिया था तुमने, कह के मन कुल तो जिसे मौला कहा था तुमने। मैंने हर मोड़ पे बाबा साथ उसका है निभाया। हाँ मेरा जुर्म यही है। तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। तेरी उम्मत ने बना दी है ये हालत बाबा। कोई पसली भी नहीं मेरी सलामत बाबा। सांस लेती हूँ मैं जिस दम, रुकने लगता है मेरा दम। सच मरने की कमी है। तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा जियो तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। कभी दरबार में पेशी को बुलाते हैं हमें, कभी दरवाजे पे आके सताते हैं हमें। मेरे ये भूल से बचे पूछते हैं यही मुझसे, क्या खता हमसे हुई है। तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। आए बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। आए बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। आए बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। शर्म आती है भला तुमको बताऊं कैसे, ये तमाचों के निशान तुमको दिखाऊं कैसे। देख पहचान सकोगे, देख कर मुझको कहोगे, क्या मेरी ज़हरा यही है। तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। तेरी उम्मत ने बना दी है ये हालत बाबा, कोई पसली भी नहीं मेरी सलामत बाबा। सांस लेती हूँ मैं जिस दम, घुटने लगता है मेरा दम, सिर्फ मरने की कमी है। तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। हाय बाबा तेरी ज़हरा कैसे दरवाजा की घड़ी है। कैसे दरवाजा हटाऊं, कैसे मोहसिन को बचाऊं, सांस सीने में रुकी है। तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। आए बाबा तेरी ज़हरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है। आए बाबा अल्लाह चल अल्लाह चल या इमाम।
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عدوهم من الجن والإنس من الأولين والآخرين أجمعين. السلام على محمد المصطفى وعلي المرتضى وفاطمة الزهراء والحسن المجتبى والحسين الشهيد بكربلاء وعلي زين العابدين ومحمد باقر علم النبيين وجعفر الصادق وموسى الكاظم وعلي الرضا ومحمد الجواد وعلي الهادي والحسن الزكي الهادي المهدي عجل الله فرجه وسهل مخرجه. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم على محمد وآله الطاهرين. And Fatiha to Uncle Riyaz and also Uncle Zulfiqar. Bismillah ar-Rahman.